Alrighty, here we are for round two, and we actually won the die roll this time, which is kind of a big deal for us. Um, okay, so this is definitely awkward, not having any blue land and also having to show our opponent a Savannah. So if they're playing like Dredge or something similar, we're gonna have to show them that, which sucks. But we can play turn one Hierarch, turn two Agent, and then have a turn three kill. So I'm definitely not mulling. The question is, do we lead with the Savannah or just play Pendelhaven? I guess I'm most bummed if they kill... I don't want to show them the Savannah if I can. Like, if I can just draw a few lands and a Brainstorm or something and never have to play this land, I'll be happier. And I don't really care that much if they kill the Pendelhaven. Because quite frankly, it's not that important of a card for this version, I would say. Like, it's great if you're just trying to get in for chip damage for like 5 turns or 3 turns or whatever, but it's not required for the combo kills for the most part. Okay, turn 1 Preordain could be good for us, could be not so much. Bottom top. Okay, so they drew 1 card and bottomed another. I don't necessarily know what this means right now. Okay, Trop, thank God. So I'm not gonna use Pendelhaven because the chance of them having like Disfigure or something is really low, and just bluffing a Spell Pierce is way better. Shit, they're gonna counter it. Alright, getting rid of Intuition, so we're definitely playing against a combo deck of some kind. Hopefully it's not like Sneak and Show, because if that's the case, we could be majorly screwed. So now I'm kind of conflicted between bluffing a Spell Pierce and just trying to kill them with normal damage. This will give us, if we have two Noble Hierarchs out, that's 2, 6, 12. So yeah, I'm just going to try and get them down. Get them down low enough where I can kill them with normal damage. And if we're lucky, they might, help us in that process. Okay. So still not entirely sure what this deck is. Actually, they might be like a Reanimator deck if they're playing Intuition. Who knows? But only seen islands thus far. Ponder? Okay. Like I said, my plan is probably to kill them with normal damage unless I can top deck another Infect threat soon. Force of Will is not really what I had in mind. Yeah, I'm going to tap Pendelhaven because obviously Pendelhaven doesn't do anything right now. How much damage is this? 2, 6, 12? Yeah, not enough to kill him. So we have to get them down to 12 before we can burst like that. I don't think I'm going to play the Savannah unless I feel like I have a good reason to do so. Alright, Brainstorm again. So they sure do get to craft the perfect hand over there, while we're just sort of bashing in with dorks. Saiju. Another Noble Hierarch. That's helpful. But seriously. So how much damage is this? 1, 2, 3, 7, 14. 14's obviously not enough. However, next turn, I think we can bash in for lethal. I think we can bash in for lethal with mana up to pay for the Spell Pierce they just bluffed. Or not bluffed, but represented. Unless, of course, we just die here. Show and tell? I was afraid of that. Alright, so we have nothing. So they get to play their Omniscience. Oh, well, if they played Omniscience, then we're likely dead, but not necessarily. I mean, they get to cast every hand they have, every card they have. So, can we beat an Emrakul? No, we can't, unfortunately. We were one turn away, though, from just winning there. So he chose not to shuffle, which is really bad. So he's now gonna bottom top? That's weird. Whatever. We're just praying that he somehow doesn't get there. There's the Emrakul, so we are just dead here. We can't stop it because we have to sack our whole board. Damn, that's a shame, because like I said, we were one turn away from winning there. Alright, okay. Show and tell it is. Alright, so what are we gonna want here? We don't know if there's sneak and show. They could be mono blue. They didn't really give us that information, but we're definitely gonna want Force of Will, Spell Pierce. I think Sylvan Library to help push us over the top. Piracy Charm's not going to help because they're not going to have blockers ever. Swords to Plowshares doesn't help because it doesn't kill Emrakul. I think we're going to want Nature's Claim and maybe one Croson Grip. That way we can just blow up the Omniscience immediately. I mean, they have instants. I mean, not all their cards are instants, right? Like the Ponder, or not, yeah, Ponder and Preordain and stuff, so it might be able to just screw them over. Good enough. The Nature's Claim, that is, I guess. Croson Grip just kills it no matter what. Okay, so Stifle. Yeah, I don't think Stifle does anything against them. Dryad Arbor's useless. I'm thinking about leaving in crop rotation as just a second copy of Wasteland. It's pretty rough, but it helps us get rid of Besaiju. Days. How do I feel about Days? It's a good question, but we are on the play after all. I'm going to take out Green Sun Zenith because we're not bringing in the package with Corruptor, and so why bother? What things do we not want here? Become Immense might be a skosh too slow. Normally this is the part where I cut a crop rotation, but I think that's not correct to do here. I guess I could probably cut Ponder. Just try to be... yeah, just shave a little off everywhere. So I think we can win this match. It's a shame that we lost game one on the play, but, you know, that's life. Okay, so we get to play turn 1 Glistener Elf with Force backup. We don't have any pump spells, but we do have the Force backup and a Wasteland, and I think we're generally just going to be able to disrupt them enough. At least I hope. So, like, if they play a turn 2 City of Traders, we can counter their Sneak and Show, and then Wasteland the card they play. Or Wasteland the City of Traders, excuse me. See what our opponent does with their Ponder. Alright, so they chose not to shuffle, which is unfortunate, obviously. Alright, Spell Pierce is not a Force of Will, but that's okay. No, but so what I meant to say there was Spell Pierce is not a pump spell, which is kind of what we wanted. Now we have a choice. We can either play Blighted Agent, or just hold up Counter Magic. And quite frankly, I think I'd be happiest. I think I'd be happiest just holding up the Counter Magic. By the way, I probably shouldn't have done that there. I should have waited to crack it until I needed it, because it could be the only shuffle effect we get with Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm just going to leave up the Spell Pierce instead, because if he does manage to resolve a Sneak and Tell, or, wow, I can't talk at all today. Sorry, guys. If he does manage to resolve show and tell, we'll at least have something to put in. Probe, you say? Yeah, I don't really think I can do anything about that. Come on, Magic Online. Did my mouse die or did Magic Online die? Alright, my mouse died, that's what happened. Okay, so he's going to try and figure out how to go off through us. Not like we have an absurd amount of counter magic or anything, but we just need to grind him out a little bit more. I think if we draw a fetch land next turn, we're going to brainstorm. Because we'll still have enough gas for the Force of Will. We'll probably end up pitching Blighted Agent. Like, pitching, or playing Blighted Agent does double our clock, but at the same time, I don't... Like, I'd rather just draw pump spells, to be honest. Because even if they get countered, like... Oh god, that's not helpful at all. So we might end up spending this crop rotation to just turn our wasteland into an ink moth or something similar. And that also does provide us a shuffle effect for this brainstorm, which we'll probably use at his end of turn. Generally, I prefer to wait until my next turn and play brainstorm during my main phase or something, just so I have one more card out of my deck. I have a little bit more room to work. Because I'm not generally as concerned about spending my mana every single turn, because you tend to have a lot of extra, regardless. Like, you don't use that much of your mana. And just having more cards in hand is generally just better. So let's brainstorm here. Nature's Claim, Mines of Vastwood, Daze. I like all of these things, unfortunately. I could just put crop rotation on the bottom and draw these cards. That would not be the end of the world. I think I'm okay with that, let's do that. Gives us a lot of ways to interact with our opponent, which I like. Intuition. Let's see, what could he reveal? Whatever he reveals, we probably don't want to see it, right? Now the issue is I can't really daze effectively, and also hold up the rest of my counter magic. Let's just pierce this, I think. Like, he'll draw the best possible card he can. I don't think I like that at all. Especially if he has, like, Besaiju or something in hand. Well, I guess that does require him to tap, but... I'm just gonna say that might have been an unbelievably huge mistake, but... I've been out of Legacy for a while, so... Show and Tell gets countered. And then if he has a Force of Will for that, we'll just daze it. So his Force resolves. And we're going to daze and hope that that gets the job done. Alright. There's his Besaiju, so he decided to wait an extra turn on that for some bizarre reason. I'm going to play crop rotation here. I probably should have crop rotation my wasteland, to be honest. Grab Pendelhaven. Pump our hero here. And then next turn we have the kill. Let's get rid of that Besaiju, because why not? and then hope that he doesn't have some sort of interaction with us. Or that he just show and tells like an omniscience and the nature's claim is enough to just get him. I think I'm just gonna go for the vines play here. It might set us back enough that we die, but one of his cards is probably nothing, and he's unlikely to have another counterspell. And even if he casts like Force of Will, I think I'm pretty happy with that anyway, because that'll mean he only has one card left. And that card is likely either Emrakul or Omniscience, one of which we can deal with. The other of which will simply make us very sad. But I'm not sure what he's choosing here unless he's trying to decide what he wants to give away with Force. Either we hit him for 3 twice with Hierarch plus Pendelhaven, or he just dies here. So it would appear that he is playing mono blue, and that we don't have to worry about cards like Blood Moon or Pyroclasm. What the hell is he doing? Intuition? Alright, so he's going to search for 3 counterspells. If he gives us the option, we're obviously going to pick Force of Will. Because that requires him to lose 2 cards. Force, Force, Force. Sick. Happily choose Force. Because that just leaves him with too few resources to combo off reliably. Especially if he's getting rid of a cantrip like that. That's sweet. Now he's on a 2-turn clock. That's not a lot of time. And he clearly has nothing since he F6'd, and he concedes, unsurprisingly. Alright, beautiful. So we can rethink our enchantment removal suite. And potentially Dazes as well, since we are now on the draw, rather than on the play. Nature's Claim seems less good if he's not playing Blood Moon. Krosan Grip, so we might want to just play 2 Krosan Grips instead. I'm trying to think. Other than Ponder and like maybe become Immense, I can't think of anything in our sideboard we want. But if we did cut Dazes, what would we bring in? Ponder, become Immense, and I guess probably just Green Sun Zenith, because there's nothing else in here that's really impressive. I'm just looking over my list, trying to decide here. Dazes are definitely not great. But he is going to try and go off as quickly as possible, so if he's not running red, he's not playing Simian Spirit Guide, which means he can't play a turn 3 show and tell and then try to play around Daze with that. Maybe we do just want that. I think I'll go 1 and 1 here. Like, Crossing Grip's fine, but the issue with it is that we kind of need to cast it the turn he casts Omniscience, because otherwise he's generally just going to win straight up. So that means we have to have 3 mana open when he show and tells Omniscience, and he has to show and tell Omniscience, because if he show and tells Emrakul, then the card is dead. Oh my. This is one of those hands where you keep it, but you're not stoked on it. We don't have any Force of Will, which is annoying. We have to crack our fetch turn 1. Turns out this Wasteland is just going to be a huge pain for us. Maybe I should have taken it out, but it does get rid of Besaishu after all. And we have Crop Rotation to help mitigate the damage, I suppose. Alright, so what do we want to do here? We don't have any pump spells, which I think is the most notable thing about this hand. Obviously, we go for the immediate drop. just don't know whether we want to play Glistener Elf and then do Hierarch Wasteland, or if we want to just do Hierarch to get ourselves a little bit more mana development. Because if we do this line with the Glistener Elf first, that means that on turn 3, or we won't have enough mana to do like Brainstorm crop rotation shenanigans until turn 3. Turn 1 this, turn 2 that, yeah. Whereas if we go turn 1 Hierarch, we get to go turn 2 Glistener Elf plus... No, we can't really do crop rotation shenanigans anyway, because we're going to need green and blue open. Yeah, so we'll start with the Glistener Elf. Luckily, because they're playing blue, like their only options for getting rid of our creatures are bounce spells, which we haven't seen so far, so I'm going to guess they don't have them. Turn 2 Besaiju is pretty goddamn terrifying, or at least it would be, if we didn't have... I was going to say if we didn't have Wasteland, but now that we have G-Probe as well, like, that's just too damn good. That's really good for us. He might try and pierce it, though. Should not be the worst plan on his part. Oh man, I love being able to have access to them, to what they're doing there. Alright, so without 3 mana, he has no plan. We're actually in a good spot, other than the fact that we have 3 friggin' Glistener Elves. I'm gonna play Noble Hierarch. Wasteland, Bash for 2. He does have double Spell Pierce, which is frustrating. And I'm gonna seriously consider countering his Brainstorm with Daze, because I think it's just that good. I'm gonna blow up his Besaiju. That means he has to draw, like, City of Traders in order to show and tell. And that's why I'm gonna Daze. Because now he basically has to top deck City of Traders or Ancient Tomb or something, which we haven't even seen him play yet, which is weird. But he has to top deck something along those lines if he wants to get the show and tell down on Omniscience. Sending us a message. Perfect, he says. Yep, well, that was kind of the idea. Make it so that he has very little chance of being able to cast show and tell next turn. And then hopefully we can brainstorm our way into a kill next turn. But even if we don't, we're not in the worst. It's still not the worst case. Though he probably won't let our brainstorm resolve considering the double spell pierce that he has. What did we see? We haven't actually seen anything from him, have we? Saw him play Brainstorm. So he has 1 unknown in hand, as well as 2 Spell Pierce, a Show and Tell, an Omniscience, and a Cunning Wish. I think what I'm going to do here is attack Brainstorm, even though I know it's not going to do much. Like, I know he's just going to counter it with Spell Pierce, but at least it gets that out of his hand. Because, like, the thing is, we're not going to be able to pay for Spell Pierce for a while anyhow. And, you know, if we play enough Glistener Elves, it'll be better than attacking with Hierarch anyway. And if at some point Pendelhaven becomes lethal, we can search for that. Alright, so still no second land from Villain, which is sick. Ink Moth, you say. Alright, we probably just play Glistener Elf Blighted Agent here, I think. That seems like the smartest play. Swing for 2. Play Blighted Agent. That's already lethal on board. You might have like a Force of Will in hand. God, if you drew Force of Will, I don't think I could be more stoked. I'm getting... Oh yeah, Force of Will. Beautiful. And he got rid of Show and Tell. He has Omniscience, Cunning Wish, Spell Pierce in hand, and 1 unknown card. I don't think we're losing this game. Because we just put lethal damage on the table. So it turns out that drawing 3 Glistener Elves actually worked out better for us than we expected. Oh, Crystal Vein. Shit. Well, he did get rid of his Show and Tell. So the best I think he can do is like a Cunning Wish. Oh, or he could top deck another Show and Tell. So we could be very, very dead here. That is upsetting. I mean, talk about the nuts here. Obviously, there's nothing we could have stopped that with. Domri's Call? Okay. So he's going to cast Emrakul on us. We have 7 permanents. So we actually do have potential to still win this game, despite the fact that he just hardcast Emrakul. Well, not hardcast, but he cast it, rather than Show and Telling it in. So I'm not conceding. Because it's not like Emrakul has, Oh, actually, I take that back. We can't win, because he has Spell Pierce. But it's the principle of the thing, you know? And who knows, maybe, well, no, he has Spell Pierce, but whatever. So this was actually a close match. Oh, is that only 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, never mind, I take it back. Yeah, we're just dead. Well, our opponent got there, I guess. And we top deck the Force of Will for added Rubbins. If we had the Force of Will, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because well, if we'd drawn it a few turns earlier, we would have probably just held the Blighted Agent, which would have helped us out. But as it stands, that's too bad. 2 out of 3 games, we were just 1 turn slower than they were. And this game in particular, they got lucky and ripped their Crystal Vein exactly when they needed it, after we kind of hurt them pretty bad in the earlier part of the game, so... Oh well, as they say, shit happens. And we'll see you in round 3.